Caribou, and welcome to Homes Away from Home.
My name is Briana Holmes. I'm 31 years old. I'm originally from Durham, North Carolina, Little City. I met this lovely guy down in Tallahassee, Florida at Florida A&M University. We now have 3 beautiful children, Solomon Samuel Holmes, Nyla Sada Holmes, and Eris Colette Holmes, who we love dearly. Now let this guy introduce himself.
And my name is Bayshawn Holmes. I'm 31 from Suffolk, Virginia. Met the love of my life at Florida A&M University, where we were both section leaders in the band. Spent all our time together there. Fast forward 12 years, and we're married with 3 kids, and we're moving to Africa.
Now, why? Why in the world do we want to move to Africa?
Well, the one thing that I love about Africa is a slower pace of life. In America, I feel like we spend a lot of time overstressed, overworked, and that we've lost a lot of the values that are important in life. We don't commune with our neighbors. We don't spend as much time with family as we used to. We are a very individualized society, and I don't believe that is good for human nature. And we're also very wound up. Everything is always a crisis this, crisis that. Even when something's not a crisis, we make it a crisis in our mind because we are in such a pressure cooker style environment. Here in this region of Africa, they have something called pole pole. What pole pole means is essentially that things are going to move slow. And guess what? It's okay. There's no rush. Why are you so stressed? Just let things happen as they happen. And that's something that I really am looking forward to in life.
Another thing that is incredibly important to us is family values. Again, we do have 3 wonderful children, and something that is very well seen in a lot of homes is generations of family members in each household. They take their community very seriously. They are very loving to one another, very open with one another. We want to expose our children to a community that's set up in that kind of nature. They're also very willing to help each other, cook for each other. Mothers are never alone. They're that sense of community that we'll talk about a lot in America. This is where it started. So being able to be in a community that's just been that way for hundreds of years is amazing and very attractive to us. Really being able to hone in on those family values that they take so seriously over here and expose our children to that is incredibly important.
And another reason, which I would say is probably my biggest reason for wanting to move to Africa, is the abundance of business opportunities. Africa is a place where you can see $10,000 into owning half of a gold mine. Africa is a place where you can buy a home for $30,000 on the beach in some places, and that's a business. You can rent that place out. Africa is a place where you can buy for $650,000 a whole apartment building that has 22 buildings inside of it. It's something that's just asinine and unheard of anywhere else in the world. The business opportunities from restaurateurs to manufacturing to agriculture, the list goes on and on and on and on. And Africa truly, to me, feels like what America must have felt like circa 1880. Right when the Industrial Revolution was taking off, right when we were building the Transcontinental Railway, right when New York was starting to become a powerhouse, Chicago was starting to manufacture. That is where Africa is right now. And it is the perfect time to get in. And those who get in early will reap the benefits. Those who get in late will miss out. And I plan on reaping a lot of benefits from the business community here and from the business environment here.
Now for me, and for him as well, the abundance of unapologetic blackness that exists here, and it can't help but to exist here. This is a black nation.
Now, where exactly is here? Where are we?
We are in Mombasa right now, and there was nothing more refreshing than driving in, and on every advertisement that you saw on the side of the road, it was black faces. That is unheard of in America. consistently, not constantly being able to just see somebody that looks like you on every advertisement on the side of the road. That is amazing. Even in traveling here, just being able to see how much Black American culture has infused itself into cultures all across the nation, or all across the world, I should say, is so refreshing. We are everywhere, and we want our children to be able to feel comfortable and know how important and special they truly are. So that unapologetic Blackness, is so incredibly important and is so incredibly abundant here. Now, why is it that we are choosing the East Side over the West Side?
Well, for me, I spent a few years researching the entire continent, all 54 countries. I can tell you about every corner of all 54 countries and the history of these countries and what wars they fought in the past, what wars they are currently fighting, if they are fighting any, and what economic issues they've had and what caused those economic issues. And every time I look at different places, it came down between West and East Africa for me, and West Africa has too big of a problem with corruption. Now, everywhere in the world has corruption. America has corruption. East Africa has corruption. But it's on another level in West Africa. And one thing for me as coming to do business, I am a numbers person. I like my numbers to be exact. I can't plan for what you're going to ask me for on the side to do the job that you're supposed to do. That makes planning for a business extremely hard. And the great thing about today and the great thing about the internet is that we have the ability to see what others have gone through. And there were just too many horror stories in West Africa when people went to do business, because the level of corruption that permeates all of West Africa. So East Africa is not going to be perfect. There is going to be times where people are going to try to, I don't want to say shake you down sounds heavy, but they're going to try to get an extra buck or two, and I mean literally just a buck or two out of you. But I'm not into giving people money they're not entitled to have. And that's a big thing for me. I just knew that it would be a point of contention for me. I know my personality. I know that somebody asking me for extra, if I'm in West Africa, $100 to do something that their government says they're supposed to do for free, I'm probably going to flip out. And that's not going to be a good situation for any parties involved, especially me being a foreigner. So that's why that's one of the reasons why East Africa is number one on our radar.
Tying into that, East Africa just in general is a much more peaceful area. One of the cities that we're interested in, Dar es Salaam, literally translates to the abode of peace. They have been without war for forever. That has not been a part of their history. Coming from a place like America where it's literally written, we were born out of war, more or less. It makes for a very hectic, very non-loving environment, very hateful environment. We've seen it every day growing up our lives. We both have grandparents that were in the military, have dealt with war, things of that nature. And my husband himself, very directly, his father was in the military as well. We don't even want to be in an environment that fosters any type of, Aggression, absolutely. So we want to be in a peaceful environment, again, for our children. So much stress comes from worrying about who America has upset or not, and what that's going to mean for the citizens of the country. That's not an issue that they worry about here in East Africa. It's just not. So the peaceful side of East Africa is incredibly attractive, and something that is bringing us to make it somewhere where we want to raise our children.
Most definitely. And as far as East Africa is concerned, we have 3 places primarily that we are looking at relocation for. One of them being where we are right now, Mombasa, Kenya. The other places being Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi being the business capital. Mombasa, I'd say, is less of a commercial capital than the other two, but it has extreme potential with some of the infrastructure projects going on, and the same with Dar es Salaam. And that brings me to my another big point for me why I chose East Africa. The infrastructure projects going on in East Africa are on a scale that has never been seen before on the continent. Right now we are in Kenya, we're in Mombasa. We flew from Nairobi to Mombasa because we got too late to take the train. But if we would have took the train, we would have gone through a few national parks. We probably saw a couple giraffes on the side. But the impressive thing about that train is it's faster than any Amtrak runs, and it's nicer than any Amtrak is. Hear that again, Americans, with your brain that everything in America is better. It's nicer than Amtrak is. And it's faster than Amtrak is. The infrastructure that is being built here is going to completely transform here, just from the Lamu Port project to the geothermal project with Kenya, to the Ugandan Tanzania pipeline, to the liquid natural gas project, to the Julius Nyerere Dam in Tanzania, to the port of Bagamoyo being redone, to the port of Tanga being redone because of that pipeline being there. The port of Mombasa is being redone to carry more cargo, and the trains that are being made to carry that cargo, as East Africa is kind of working towards integration to kind of become a United States of East Africa, but that's a whole story for another day. But the infrastructure projects, when I have a business and I create goods, because manufacturing is one of the things that I want to go into, I need a way to get my goods to market. It's something you don't even think about in America. You don't even think about if you open a business selling to somebody in New York. The infrastructure is already there. Yep. You can just use USPS, you can use FedEx, you can use UPS, you can use so many, you can use Amazon as your third party. There are so many Etsy. Different ways that you can get your, and Etsy will do the mailing for you, all the mailing for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. Here, it has not been that, but it will be. Mm-hmm. And when it does become that, the velocity of money here, the velocity of ideas here is going to explode exponentially. This is a powder cake waiting to explode with potential. The average person on the continent is younger than age 20. The average person in our society is over twice that age. They're just getting started. For example, even if you go into real estate here, all these cities in 30 years will have populations 3 times what they are. The cities back home may actually be smaller in that time. Just use simple supply and demand. I told you how cheap some of the real estate is. So if you can get in on that real estate now, and there's 3 times the amount of people, and we can make babies way faster than we can make the houses for them, you already know there's a supply and demand, what's going to happen. That real estate value is going to increase exponentially. But get in now. You can buy land here for as low as $500 an acre. $500 an acre, you heard me right. The amount of money that you might have spent on going out one night. I mean, in America, VIP in a bottle at the club could conceivably cost you an acre of land in Africa. But it's land. It is going to appreciate. When you spent that money in America to go to VIP and for bottles, you might not even remember what you spent it on. There's just so much waiting for the people who have enough vision to take it. And the problem here is the people coming with the capital don't look like the people here. It's a new form of colonialism. If somebody's going to be doing it, I really feel it should be the Black Americans. Don't let the Chinese come in here and do it. Black Americans come here. Build someplace where they want you to build. Build someplace where they want you to succeed. Build a place where you aspire to get a Mercedes and you don't get pulled over because somebody is jealous that you're driving. This place is waiting for more than just us. But there's also one other major reason for us to move to this region of Africa.
That's the weather. The weather, the weather, the weather. I don't know if you can tell what a beautiful day we're sitting in right now. East Africa in general stays anywhere between about 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't think that's perfect weather, I don't know what to tell you. We are talking about tropical-esque weather year-round.
Beautiful breeze we're feeling right now.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And for two people who are from not quite the north, but north enough to where we get snow and fun stuff like that, it's a dream. And to be able to have this weather attainable year-round is unthinkable. So that is just incredibly attractive. And on top of that, even the beautiful beaches that exist.
Wonderful beaches, and the whole coast from Kenya all the way up to Lamu. You can go down to Malindi, Watamu, Mombasa. You can go to Diani, which we'll show you all a little later. There are just so many beautiful beaches, and we haven't even got to Tanzania,
right,
which has beautiful beaches in the north, which has Pemba Island, which is Mafia Island, which is Kilwa, which has everybody's island resort that you've heard of, Zanzibar. And let's not forget, Dar es Salaam, the biggest city, sits on the Indian Ocean with perfect crystal blue water. I love the water. I'm a beach and the ocean person, so that's very, very appealing for me. But we just wanted to give a video to show you all who we are, what our plans are, and in this channel we're going to go through our journey with you all and find it. We're on this trip right now to kind of feel out exactly of those three places where we want to be, and you all are definitely going to be in for a nice little ride with us.
Hopefully we can inspire some of you to come over, to build, to grow, to raise your families, just as we're doing ourselves. There's so much opportunity here, and it's just waiting. It's just waiting. So much potential here.
Most definitely. And for our friends, families, and people who we don't even know, go ahead, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and then go in those comments and just give us a, hey, I subscribed. Even my friends, go in there, give me a, I subscribed. Give you a thank you. And anybody who writes a comment, we've told ourselves, even if this thing blew up big, even if it stayed small, whatever, don't care really. We want to have a personal relationship with everybody. We want to be able to answer questions for people that they have. And we want to really do kind of that statue that they have at Tuskegee University with Booker T. Washington unveiling, pulling the veil of ignorance over Black Americans. That's what we want to do. We want to pull that veil of ignorance. So we will leave you with that, and then we will kind of go, because I know because of the way the light is, you may not be able to see what's behind us that clearly, so we'll go and show you the view behind us. And ladies and gentlemen,
Mombasa.
beautiful, 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 beautiful Mombasa. If I can get this to kind of get a better view for you all.
We get to wake up here for a few days. This is
Yes,
our
we
view
do, and this is
out of
the
the
creek
beautiful
of
city blue.
Mombasa, and this creek leads down to the Indian Ocean, which we will go to a little later. But we thank you all for watching this video,
Thank you.
and Caribou.
Caribou. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
tuning in
thank
to
you.
Homes Away from Home.
Bye-bye.